girl, if you're constantly editing yourself to make other people feel good, then it's time for a rewrite. You're not too much, they're just not ready. Go ahead and grab your cup and a snack. We gotta talk about it.
Been that, still that, will always be mwah, that girl.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Mikkel back with another episode. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about shrinking ourselves to please other people. Now, I personally think that as a first generation person, period, that we tend to struggle with people pleasing because it's a survival tactic. I feel like we have to convince other people that we're worthy of being in these spaces because no one else before us has come to these spaces, or no one else before us has done these things. So we spend our time trying to convince the people that we are worthy, when in reality, if you were not worthy, then you would not be in that space. And this episode ties directly into that imposter syndrome episode that I dropped maybe a couple weeks ago. I'll link it to this video at the end so that way you could just go back and watch that. But it goes hand to hand. Shrinking ourselves and imposter syndrome hand to hand. If you don't think you belong, or if you don't think you are worthy, then it will show up in how you do things, if you choose to speak up when you want to speak up. It's those ideas in your head that you keep to yourself because you're not quite sure how everyone else is going to respond to it or relate to it. This is exactly what we're talking about. That is shrinking yourself. And for myself, I think I've shown up and shrinking myself, which is crazy because, trust me, I always heard I'm too much, I'm too dramatic, I'm this, I'm that. It's a thing. I do too much. And now I've owned it. I claim it as my own. I do too much because y'all don't do enough. Period. T. I think that's a Cash Doll song. Y'all need to go listen to that. Hype yourself up. Gas yourself. But yes, I just definitely want to touch base on why we are here. I think Black women have been pushed aside a long time. And every time they try to come to the forefront, guilt, shame has been used to make them feel like they're not worthy of being in the front. And you are worthy of being in the front, honey. You're supposed to be there, okay? You are the blueprint. I talked about that on our very first episode back. You are the blueprint. You deserve to be in the front, girl. Everybody needs to see you, okay? Because they taking ideas anyway. Might as well, everyone should know where they taking them from, okay? T. But let's go ahead and get started in this episode. So part one is, why do we shrink? And so we have been taught that confidence in a Black woman is arrogance, right? We think about the girl who in school is loud in the morning. She excited. She's talking. She's chatting. They calling her ghetto. She too loud. She doing too much early in the morning. God forbid a girl got a good vibe. God forbid a girl woke up on a good tip, right? It is the woman who has asserted her boundaries strictly. Now she's a bitch. It's the girl who has decided to speak back to someone who has crossed her boundaries. Now she's an angry Black woman. Every time a woman is confident, specifically a Black woman is confident in who they are, what they want, how they decide, what they want to choose, it's some negative connotation attached to it. Whereas if those same traits were found in a different group of people, a different person, all of a sudden it's great. It's great. We need it 100%. He's a leader. He's this. He's that, right? And it's not the truth. It's just a tactic to get Black women to shut the hell up, right? And the only reason they're doing that is because you have such valuable things to add to the conversation, such valuable things to put into the space, and they don't want everyone to see your value. Because if people start believing that you have valuable things to ask, then they're going to go to you more, they're going to talk to you more, you're going to be the standard, and everybody wants to, negate the fact that Black women are the standard, period. So just making sure that you don't believe it, don't subscribe to it. And sometimes you've been told that so much, or we have been told that, or we've seen other women be conditioned by that so much, right, that we do it ourselves. We do it ourselves. We do it to other women who look like us. We do it ourselves. We batter ourselves. We keep ourselves in this little bucket instead of being able to shine and be big and take over these spaces. We do that to ourselves so no one else has to. And it's something that we have to overcome, okay? So the first thing that I talked about was conditioning, right? Too loud, too sensitive, doing too much. She dramatic. She a bitch. She this, she that. Those words that are replaying in our system, period, is what conditions you to not be big, to not be bold, to not be brave. You worried about what somebody else gonna say, when in reality they saying it probably because they heard it repeated to themselves if they look like us, slash they're saying it because they're intimidated. And understanding that someone being intimidated does not mean you're being intimidating. Those are two different things. Those are two different things. Just because they are intimidated does not mean you're being intimidating automatically, okay? Being intimidated means that they have something going on in themselves that they see in you that they are envious of. Period. That's it. And don't let no jealous person, okay, dictate what you need to do. The goal of a jealous person is for you to minimize yourself so that way they can shine bigger. Don't fall for it. The next one is cultural trauma. So again, systemic silencing on a wide level for Black women, especially at the workplace, church, family, is very specific. This idea that the Black woman should be in the background is one of the reasons why you are minimizing yourself. So you may not even subscribe to the negative self-talk, but you think when you go to work, you're supposed to look a certain way. I struggle with that all the time. Everybody know when I have pure freedom, I'll have pink hair in a mini skirt doing my thing. Okay? My wife always say like, oh, you be Rico Nasty if you could. Like, I would be just like that. Okay? And feeling like that's not acceptable in the workplace, but like no one's ever told you it wasn't. Most workplaces don't even sign a dress code. You know what I mean? So just being mindful of those things. Like, what are you telling yourself that's stopping you from being great? Church, playing a Black woman role, being this humble, dowdy woman, when in reality, we all think of like church mothers and people in charge as being someone who is strict. Like, they say what they say what they mean. Like, it's really weird and odd that the women who are leading in our community have all of the traits that we try to hide from other people. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's very confusing. And then family, I definitely say that we all know the evil trope between Black mothers and they daughters. Okay, I don't know what it's about. I don't know why a lot of Black women try to beat the peace out of their Black daughter, beat the boldness out of their Black daughter. Maybe it's out of fear. Maybe it's out of habit. Maybe because they have experienced their own conditioning that if these Black girls do this, if these Black girls do these big things, that it's going to cause a problem. That may be it. So just being mindful of those things. And then the last one, or the last reason why we shrink, is perfectionism. We are too busy chasing the idea that we have to earn to be in spaces instead of owning them. We are too busy chasing the idea that once we show up to a space, we have to have everything planned, put together, and perfect to be able to stay there. And that is not the truth. You can figure it out. You are human. And anybody who doesn't allow you the space to figure it out is probably your out. Just being honest. It's probably not somebody who wants to see the best in you. So definitely keeping that in mind. Perfectionism, cultural trauma and conditioning, and figuring out what it is exactly. And those are just general terms for covering a really big issue. Figuring out what it is, right, that is influencing you to shrink yourself. So next we talk about boldness being a practice, okay? Confidence is not something you wait to feel, okay? Confidence does not come up overnight. You didn't change your outfit and all of a sudden you have confidence for the rest of your life. It is something that you have to choose to walk in. You have to choose to be confident. That saying like fake it till you make it, it applies here because sometimes you have to just force yourself to go into these spaces, force yourself to be confident, because confidence is built from practice, not compliments. Someone can tell you that you're beautiful every day and you still don't believe it. Somebody can tell you that you're intelligent every day and you can still not believe it. It's a choice. You have to choose to believe these things about yourself, and that's the only way they'll become valid. That's the only way they'll become true. The only way you're going to believe those is if you practice it. So the first thing you have to do is be better at taking up space. The only way you could be better at taking up space is by doing it. And when we say taking up space, I think people think about the physical. I mean, yes, physically. Take up space. Of course, come in. Don't be shy, meek in the corner. Like, step out in the front. Do your thing. You don't even have to talk to nobody. Just step out in the middle of the club. See what the middle of the dance floor feel like. They're going to make space. They're going to make way, okay? Push your way. Get your arms out. Create your space. You deserve it. Better at taking up space is something as simple as when you start to speak, or you found that like little rattle, you're nervous, you're scared, saying it anyway. Saying it scared. Saying it with a shake in your voice. Saying it when your heart is feeling heavy and you're nervous about how everybody's going to respond. That is taking up space. Letting people know that you are in the room. Okay? So start with your voice. Speak. Even when your voice is shaking. Even when you're scared. Even when you're not sure. Say it anyway. Okay? Now, that don't mean go say a bunch of ignorant ass shit. That's not what that means. That's not what that means, but be a man on a podcast. Like, not trying to be funny, but we've seen these men's podcasts and they just saying anything. It's completely ridiculous, but they gonna say it anyway. You do too. Say it. Say the things. Stand out. Take up the space, okay? And the bonus is not about being extroverted, and I think that is a misunderstanding, right? Or I don't know. It's not about being extroverted. You don't have to be the girl in the room that's making all the friends, doing all the things, to be confident, to be bold, to be taking up space. That's not what that means, right? It just means being honest and present in the space and knowing that you deserve to be in that space. I'm not saying you're going to be the life of the party. You don't have to be the life of the party if you're not the life of the party. Nothing's wrong with that. But we are saying be at the party. Be at the party. Dress the cutest way you want to dress, Talk to the people you want to talk to. Dance when you want to dance. You're not the life, but you're here and you're present and it's honest to who you are, right? Couple of tips for you to be able to do that is practicing your opinion first in meetings. So if somebody asks a question, say it first. I did that in a meeting that I just had with my department. Like, they asked the question and I just spoke up and said stuff first. And you could just see the response like, damn, they don't know say nothing. It's not that I don't have the opinions. It's just that I'm not sharing them. And it's not saying, and you dictating or setting the tone for something helps dictate how everybody else is moving. It kind of helps you shape your space. And I think that is the point. Shaping your space on how you want it. And even if you said something everybody disagree, you still said it, period. You set the tone, okay? So practice saying your opinions first. Set boundaries even when your voice trembles. So even when you're nervous, even when you're scared, and we've all been there, like scared to see how somebody gonna respond, how somebody says, this could be at work, this could be personal, this could be with your parents, it could be with anybody, just afraid of what the outcome is and saying it anyway. Go ahead and set the boundary. Once you throw it out there, it's out there. They got one choice. They either gonna believe you in that boundary, because remember, boundaries about what you do if somebody violates you, not what they do. Okay? But do it anyway. And then choose outfits that make you feel confident, even if it feels extra. So we all know, to know me is to know that when I actually get to dress up and do my thing, I'm gonna do the most every time, because I want to feel like the bed is in the room and I don't care who got it on. If they ain't got it on, then hey, it is what it is, okay? That's the goal. That is the point. Dress, be extra, wear the pink hair. And that's an inside joke for me and my therapist, but like, wear the pink hair. If you want to wear pink hair, wear the pink hair. Take the pictures, go do the photo shoot, go live this life that you are yearning for, because just because you're yearning for it doesn't mean you're ever going to get it, right? Because you haven't done any steps to obtain it. And the minute you start treating yourself, dressing like, speaking up, doing those things like you earn, confidence is going to change the way people handle you, because they realize that you're not afraid to be present in the room. People use fear. The fear tactic has been used from government on down. They try to make you scared to be yourself, when in reality, who gonna whoop your ass? That's how I feel. Who gonna whoop your ass? Who gonna do it? Who? And if you scary and can't fight, go get a gun license and take some classes. What they gonna do? Because you want to wear a two-piece fit with your booty cheeks hanging out? Do you? What they gonna do? They're gonna be appalled. Oh my God. Okay, you're right. Yeah, it's fat, period. What you gonna do? Nothing. What is a comment? A comment is just somebody's opinion who doesn't matter. And just like they try to dismiss you, you dismiss that. I don't want to hear that. Bye. Have a good day. Okay. That's where we at. Boldness is a practice. You have to try. You have to do it, and you're going to have to do it multiple times to convince yourself in your mind that this is an easy task for you to achieve. And our last topic for this episode is the permission to shine, right? And when I say that, we'll talk about it. So when you shrink, you rob others of the light you carry. Showing up fully is not ego, it's obedience. So in the Bible, it says, show your light. Matter of fact, let me tell you exactly what verse it is. Give me 1 second. It is Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before others, right? So the idea of you playing small directly goes against what you were created for. And if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in the Bible, etc., etc., every religion, every space has given you this concept or idea that the whatever creator you believe in has created you for a purpose. And you walking around scared to do everything, scared to show who you really are, scared to share what you really think, scared to share your opinions, your ideas, is directly going against that. If you were created for a purpose, you'll never be able to do the purpose, because every idea that pops in your head, everything that you feel like you should say, everything that you feel like you should do, you ain't doing. And how you bucking? How you bucking about something that's divinely yours? Nuts. You are not called to fit in. You are called to shift rooms. Sometimes, and my pastor specifically was saying that sometimes I walk into a room and be like, this is chaos. Why was I brought here? Because you was the person who was supposed to provide peace. You were the person who was supposed to provide sense. You were the person who was supposed to provide logic. But because you so scared to say anything, it's chaotic. You could have been stopped. It's not saying that the responsibility falls on you, and not saying that's always your role. But sometimes it is, and we've missed our opportunities because we refuse to say something because we scared. Okay? And I wanted to give you in this piece some affirmations to replace your doubt, because in reality, all of this stems from you doubt that you are able to be in this space, able to do these things, able to participate in this life the way you should, authentically you. So the first one is, my presence has purpose. Period. That's self-explanatory, okay? You being there has purpose. You have not showed up in any room, in any relationship, in any place without a reason. And you may not know the reason, but without a reason, okay? I'm not too much. I am more than enough. You are not too much. When people start telling you too much and it's too much to handle, it's because they cannot handle you. They are weak. You are too much for them. Find people that you are not too much for. Trust me, as someone who has been finding people I'm not too much for, like, it feels amazing to be around people, friendships, relationships, spaces where people don't treat me like, oh my God, here she go again. That's weird as fuck. That's weird. People don't treat me like that. And I have been in places where people have treated me like that, and it's shocking. Like, it's like, oh girl, okay. It make you question yourself. No. If you move from them people, it's going to be people who think all the ideas, all you talking so much, you being a yapper like me, it's amazing. And it has benefit. And that's where you want to find yourself. I release the need of being liked and embrace the call to be me, right? Sometimes who you are is not going to be liked. People are not going to like it. That does not mean you need to change who you are. Now, and I say that, right, because there's a big difference in character flaws and what you like, right? So I used to be a little bit more aggressive with my delivery. I used to be more like, fuck y'all, okay? And I'm still like that. There is a fuck y'all. I really don't give a damn. But I don't have to deliver it in a certain way, right? My delivery was the character flaw. How I felt was just who I was, okay? That's how I feel. That's how I really feel. Most things I don't like to involve myself in because I don't give a damn. That is me. I like to stay out the mix. Me being mean about it was the character flaw. So hopefully that helps. Like, you wanting to wear pink hair and you being a bigot, them not the same thing. Some things you need to change, okay? Don't bring that to the party. But some things, please wear the pink hair. But please don't go in that party not an N-word, calling everybody the N-word. You see what I'm saying? Like, we have to Subscribe. We gotta be reality, okay? We know that one thing can be true while the other one, you know what I'm saying? While you can also be something else, okay? So just keep that in mind. And our challenge of the week this week is a very easy one, but I just want you to do something bold. And that could be something as simple as saying no to something draining, saying yes to something that you really want to do, wearing the outfit, changing your hair, pitching the idea, singing the song, sharing the post, taking up space on purpose. That's the goal. This week, I just want you to take up space on purpose. And when you do, snap a picture, tag me in it, Mikhail J on all platforms. Do that. Show yourself. Do the most. Wear the outfit, do the hair, pitch the idea, anything. Say no, say yes to the things you want to, say no to the things you don't. Take a picture, tag me in Mikhail J. I'm so excited to see you walk into your boldness. If no one has told you this week or in this lifetime that you being you is just enough, it is amazing. You being in this world makes the world special and beautiful and amazing, and we would love, love, love to see more of that. And as always, if you like this, if you love our FaceTimes, like, subscribe, share with somebody you love, and I will see you next week.
Been that, still that, will always be that girl.